Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Tabletop Tuesday. Woo! It has been a minute since we've played. Life has certainly gotten in the way of this game. Last time we tried to play this game, which is the Burbs, nature decided no, we don't get to play. We had some technical difficulties last time, and we're interrupted mid-game, but we will be picking that back up tonight. Before we get to that, however, you just saw our intro video that tells you the things we are doing on this channel. Lots of, TTRPGs, games like that. I know that recently Savannah and Val have been playing through It Takes Two, which is a co-op game. I don't know if they finished it yet. I do know that they were terrible, terrible people in the game, like destroying.
Oh my god.
I mean, spoilers for the game, so I'm not going to get into it, but it is not a particularly happy game. But so, yeah, we do video games on this channel sometimes as well. And I know, like, last Friday, when it was Val's birthday, we streamed some One Night Ultimate Werewolf and some Jackbox stuff. So we do a whole bunch of stuff here on GGK, and you can check it all out on YouTube. But in terms of scheduled things that are happening on this channel, we're back with Tabletop Tuesday. Thursday will be Elegant Magics. We're finally finishing the time loop, so now this will be the only show that is doing a time loop, as far as I know. LBR time loops happening in Sunday's game yet?
Not yet, man.
Okay. And I assume they're not happening in any of the Saturday games. But yeah, then this Saturday, so Thursday, Elegant Magics. Friday, back to Neon Souls. Saturday Night Star Power, which is the Neon Souls is Cypher. Star Power is Fate in a JoJo Bizarre's Adventure anime world. Sunday, they'll be back with Vaesen, and Thursday's Children. I feel like I always get it wrong. Scandinavian horror. Or I get yelled at for not being specific enough. But,
It's confusing.
yeah.
It's oddly specific, yet very broad.
Yeah. And then we'll be back around to Tuesday in terms of scheduled things, but I know some people have been streaming more during the day. I know Savannah recently did a Nancy Drew stream sometime within the past week or two. So yeah, best way to know what we're doing and when we're doing stuff is to follow us on all our socials, which let me make sure I'm in the right window before I just type the command. Yeah, so follow us on Twitter and Discord. Those are the best ways to know when we are doing stuff. That was a long-winded introduction, but I think that covered everything. So let's get back around to tonight. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. David, why don't you tell us who you are and a bit of what we're doing tonight?
Yeah, David. I'm here on Tuesdays, and yeah, tonight we're playing The Burbs, a Savage Worlds Cthulhu kind of system, and yeah, some time loop horror shenanigans going on.
Right, very good. And chat has informed me that apparently the Friday game is going to do a time loop arc as well. So we can write them a strongly worded letter to step off our turf.
Yeah. Why you gotta step on me like this? Come on.
Yeah.
The OG time loop over here.
Yeah. All right, LB, you want to tell us who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. I'm LB Hack'em. You can find me at LB Hack'em on the Twitters and the Twitches. I played some Dead by Daylight today with Savannah, and Val and Savannah and I played some Sea of Thieves this afternoon, so that was fun. Catch that VOD on YouTube, which I think I can change now to LB Hack'em, but I don't know how, so eventually it'll be like that one day. Next time I'm going to be live is going to be on Friday. Lauren and I are going to play some Friday Night Frights, where we might be going back to Dead Island. We might do a different zombie game. It is going to be fun. So check us out there. But beyond that, I'm here right now, and I'm playing Clara. She is Clara Kriegers. She is an astrology teacher and a professor and a homeowner. You know, what we all wish we were.
Indeed. And chat has informed me that they were just joking about the time loop on Friday, so we're good. But thank you, LB, and I am Alex. OMG, it's some guy on the internets here on GGK Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays. Opposite Tuesdays from this, I run our Masks game, which is shit's gotten serious in that, and we will get back to that as soon as we are able. Life just does not like this time slot, so we play what games we can when we can. But yeah, and in tonight's game, I am playing James McCoy, the sort of resident handyman who is living in or renting the spare room in Clara's house. And yeah, well, I was gonna say what happened last time, but I'll leave the recap to David and tell us where where we were so rudely interrupted last time.
All right. Yeah. So last time, June 1980, in the small fictional town of Silver Falls, Ohio, a suburb of Columbus. You were at your neighbor's barbecue. You're being severely creeped out by them. Everyone arrived at the barbecue exactly 5 minutes early. Or was it 15? It might have been 15. And yeah, that's even people who had to drive there. Like, everyone showed up at the same time. So you kind of creeped out by that. Not to mention that these people have murdered you twice. But, one time with magic launching you into space. But yeah, they're not the greatest of people, and you have more than ample reason to be suspicious of them. And it seems that there's some kind of shenanigans going on with the neighbors and friends of these people as well. You've decided to investigate their house, roping Clara's new sister, as she didn't used to have a sister, but now she has an adult sister, into the investigation as well. We left off last time, James trying to go into the basement. You have found the illusory door to the basement. I say illusory, it's been illusioned to look like a pantry door. And James is in the process of going down to look into that. Clara is going upstairs to root around in the bedrooms and whatnot. And Sarah, Clara's sister, is hanging out on a kitchen island, keeping lookout as it's easy view to the basement entrance and the stairs to the upstairs. And yeah, we left off with James having, I believe, failed a sanity check, but soaking the roll, right?
Yes, I have a note that, so I used my Benny to block enough damage to not have the madness, and you were explaining how Bennies work when the stream cut out.
Got it. So, Bennies, you get 3 of them each session. You can use them kind of like in D&D 5th edition, where you can kind of get rerolls and stuff like that for them. On skill checks, you can't do it for damage unless you have an edge that lets you do it. But you can also do it to soak sanity damage that you take. So if you encounter something that's kind of sanity breaking, it rolls to see if it's above, or no, it rolls to see if it's above your sanity. Mm-hmm. It's a weird system. And if it is, you can try and soak that by like trying to rationalize it away. And so you make like an intelligence check, and that's a use of your bennies. You can get additional bennies throughout play, but I'm kind of supposed to sparingly award them for things that kind of like are, good moments that encourage role play or greatly advance the game. And yeah, so you start out each session with 3. So it's a new session. You each got 3. So got a freebie there last time.
Basically.
But it's no different than if you just used it at the very end of the session, so it's not a big deal.
Technically, it was the end of the session.
Yeah. So it was unexpectedly the end of the session, but hey, there we go.
Yeah.
So we're kind of starting with that. James breaking into the basement. Yeah, so it's locked, I believe you determined. Or I might have started saying that before we realized you
possible.
had dropped. But you reach through, you encounter the illusion, it wigs you out, you don't like it, but you manage to not take any sanity damage from it. And okay, wait, yeah, no, all right, never mind. It doesn't matter. I remember how sanity works. It's too many steps. I don't like it very much, but there we go. Yeah, so yeah, it's you reach for the doorknob, you find it, it's locked. You kind of feel around, and it looks like it is. You're going to need a key.
Well, I am a skilled lock picker. Though I'm just trying to figure out how to rationalize having those tools on hand. Like, it's the 80s. Everyone had fanny packs. I have my stuff in a fanny pack at the ready.
It's a game. You got the little pencil case.
Yeah.
It's just got your lock picking stuff in it. Pull it out. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so give me a lock picking. Check that. I am going to impose a bit of a penalty because you can't see what you're doing because the illusion is right up next to the door, so you can't really see the door.
Okay. So do I add any kind of modifier? It's
do a -1.
Okay. Well, that is a 4.
Good enough.
Okay.
Just look for target. Yeah, so for reminders, most things are target number 4. Hitting it and getting 4 above that is a raise,
right?
And like you get potentially to do cool stuff with it. So with just hitting the target number, I'm going to say that it makes a little bit of noise, but it's not a big deal. There's got a party going on and stuff. People are watching TV. And did you already roll a stealth or anything like that last time?
If I did, I don't know that I didn't put it down in my notes, certainly.
Okay. So go ahead and just give me a quick stealth to sneak in here without anyone seeing.
Ooh, that's only a 2.
Okay. So yeah, that isn't going to be good enough. What's going on? Roll 20. Why aren't you showing me these rolls?
Scroll down.
Yeah, it's in
I was scrolled down. There we go. All right. Now it's above where the chat things are, but there we go. All right. So that's another one. If you want to use the Benny, you can get a reroll.
Yeah, I will. So let's try again. Can't be any worse, can it? That's a 5.
Hey. Oh. Okay, so that is one thing. This isn't a standard rule here, but and you did use the Benny, so you get to keep the 5.
Okay.
But a Snake Eyes is a critical failure in this system, which isn't a huge deal. It means, you only add stuff if you need to, but I'm to kind of carry over from the last system we were using. It is going to advance the horror of the game.
Okay.
You still succeed. No one saw you, but
yeah, I'm
keep in mind.
I know it is a 2, but it looks like I rolled a 1 and a 2, but there was a -1 somewhere in there.
Oh, never
These
mind. Then it's
outputs
not a snake eyes.
are
Why did you
so
have a
weird.
-1?
I don't
Did your
know.
-1 carry over from?
It
Is it not
shouldn't.
untrained?
No, I'm trained in
Because
stealth.
that should be a -2. Yeah, because you rolled
Yeah.
2d6s.
Well, okay, and then the one that I got a 5, it shows like a 3 and a 5, which would be an 8, but it came out as a 5. Well,
Well,
these.
so you don't get to keep both numbers.
Oh, it's the highest of the. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so then, yeah, so the highest in that first stealth was a 2. It just made it red because there was a 1.
got it. Yeah, it's not added together. Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Okay. That's on me.
We're learning, and Roll20 is giving us a very weird output.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll troll around to see if there's a better character sheet. But yeah, all right. So never mind. You can keep that Benny. Well, no. You
Use
still
the
need the Benny
Benny.
for the success.
Yeah.
You just didn't crit fail. Okay, so yeah, you got the 5. You're stealthing on in there. You used up the Benny that you used last time, so now we're squaresies.
Yep.
And yeah, you start walking into the basement, and you've been in this basement before. It looks very familiar. You see the cement floor where there used to be some carpet down there and stuff. The carpet's been kind of rolled up. It's on the side of one of the walls down there. You see the horrible machine that you've seen disintegrate people before. You see the tub of bubbling liquids underneath the table where it disintegrates people. You see the large metal coffin hooked up to it with tubes and wires. You see the generator down here.
The liquids are currently
You see
bubbling.
the runes carved into the ground.
Yep. So the liquids are bubbling. Are they currently bubbling, even though it seems to be everything else seems to be inert right now?
Yeah, they're just like very slightly.
Okay, so
Looks like there's some gas in there.
okay, so it's not boiling, bubbling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. So you're down in here. Give me. That's not what I want. Give me some kind of looking around for stuff check.
Yes, looking around check. Would that be investigation?
Yes.
Or investigation or notice? Though I guess it's the same roll for me.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, you choose, but
We'll do investigation. Okay, that's a 3.
Okay. Yeah. You're not you're kind of spending some time looking around. You're not finding anything immediately. You kind of put off and that you don't really know what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like there's nothing down here. There's some odds and ends and some boxes and stuff like that too. So you kind of don't know where to start, and you're trying to be quiet. So it's taken you longer than you would like. We'll give you another roll depending on how long you want to stay down there. But I think for now, then we will cut over to Clara, who's going upstairs to look around.
That's me.
All right. You don't have to roll a stealth to go upstairs, but to like root around in rooms and stuff and not get caught, you might want to roll a stealth.
Yeah, I'm not trained in stealth.
All right. So they have a wild card unskilled test macro you can use.
Wild card trait. Wild card unskilled test. Okie dokie. Fuck. All right, here we go. No modifiers.
Mm-hmm. It should put it in there for you.
I got a 5.
That's good. How in the ever living?
I
You
got,
got a 1 and a 6.
and a 6 plus a 1.
Oh, because you that's right. You aced. Yeah, because 6. Yeah. They have exploding or pinning dice.
Yeah.
So your 6 gave you a 1. All right. Cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the 5 gets you. You're stealthy as all get at up there.
All right. I want to see if I can find any books that they have that are like going to be helpful to us, or any like occulty items, anything that says where they're from, sort of like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the lore. Give me the lore.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the Miller's house. On.
Oh my God, we have a map. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
The apartment floor plan map.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're coming up over here.
Mm-hmm.
You are familiar enough with the house that you know the floor plan. So yeah, you would know Master's down here.
Mm-hmm.
Other bedrooms up over this way.
Are any of the doors open? Can I like quick look at any of them?
Oh, this is where
they have 2 kids, right?
Yeah, they have 2 kids.
Which means one of the bedrooms is probably storage or something like that.
Yeah, as you're coming up, I'll say this bedroom over here, the door is open.
Okay.
And you can see that you look in, it looks to be probably a guest room, you assume. There's a bed in there, but it's pretty sparse.
Okay.
It doesn't look like any furniture or anything.
Okay, then I'm going... If it's not like a den or anything, not a den, but like a room, like a office room, like I'm in now, then I'm gonna go into the master bedroom.
All right. Yeah, so going down there,
you study up there, right?
You do see the study up there as well.
Okay.
Yes, and
I'll go in there.
It has no door, so you can freely look in as you're walking past. And yeah, it's got a desk in it. It's got a lot of books. You quickly see that there's a lot of medical textbooks and stuff like that in there. It looks like this is probably Dr. Miller's home office.
Yes, then I will look in there and see if I can find any of the books that I am looking for.
Give me your choice of rooting around for stuff checks.
All right. So notice or plotting.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Why do I have such a high piloting?
Are you in Sarah's for some reason?
I am in Sarah's. What the fuck?
Why does Sarah have such a high piloting?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't know anything about Sarah.
Apparently, we don't know anything about Sarah. I was like, why would I
told you there were some spoilers for Sarah if you looked at her skills.
Sorry.
It's no worries.
I was like a 10. Did I read it wrong? What the fuck? So I will roll investigation.
Okay.
All right, let's go, champ.
All right.
Yep, that's a 5.
Yeah, so sorry, this whole thing is so weird. Anyways, the -1 squared being subtracted from what you roll is what's really throwing me off.
0 squared, which should be 0, and yet it acts as like a 1 or something.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah, so yeah, it's -1 squared inside of the parentheses +0.
Yeah, I posted
-0
I posted it in the GGK live reactions.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so five is good. All right, so you're looking around. It's the bookshelf is a lot of medical textbooks, and you kind of scan, okay, that's That's nothing. You kind of start pulling through the drawers on the desk. Nothing. And then you notice it's kind of an old desk, and it's kind of thick. And you actually can lift the top up and look down inside, and there it's got a big kind of cavity at the back of the desk, and there's some looks like maybe like blueprints or something rolled up. There's a journal down there, looks really old, and you see in like little bits of newspaper sticking out from it. There is a box that the journal is on top of that looks to be ornate. It's wood, and it is locked on the front.
Okay. Boy, I'm realizing that I can't really steal any of this stuff. That wouldn't make sense. They're gonna know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull out the journal and start reading as much of it as possible. Start like thumbing through it and finding like pertinent information.
All right, seeing if anything jumps out at you. All right. Okay. This is where it was nice in the last system to have a check for successfully reading things.
Yeah. I have, well, knowledge mythos. I don't know if that would help, or investigation.
I'd do another investigation. Knowledge mythos will help you potentially understand something in here.
That's a 3.
All right. Yeah. So 3 is not going to get you anything off the bat. Again, you can use Benny if you want, or you can wait around and keep looking and get another roll later, depending on how long you want to spend doing this.
I don't want to be up here that long, so I think I will use a Benny. So I just re-roll.
Yes.
Come on, baby. Yeah!
Oh, dang.
9, baby!
Oh, yeah. With a D10?
Yeah.
Absolutely a good idea. Okay. Yeah. So that's a success with a raise. So, yeah. As you're kind of thumbing through it, you're seeing some, kind of really old newspaper articles in here, dating, to the region, the late 1800s, early 1900s. And you see a photo of a group of people, miners, standing out in front of one of a mine, and it's kind of like miners and then random other people from the town, and you notice in it Dr. Miller and Matt Jr., and it looks to be from the same kind of thing, like early 1900s, late 1800s.
Okay. Is the journal handwritten?
Yes.
Is there any indication as to who wrote it?
It does. It looks like it's Dr. Miller's journal. It's a little hard to tell, but you kind of piece it together through some of the things the writer says about it. My wife and son. It refers to my wife, my daughter, my son, things like that a lot. But he never specifically gives names.
Yeah. Okay. I did not realize how much this reminds me of the Doctor Who episode where they have the aliens like are anyways. So yes, okay, so I guess what my push, if it could be, I would like to thumb through this journal, find any pages that are pertinent that would be like explain where they're from or like what they are, in any detail. Or you know, I doubt that there'd be anything in there about like what their I mean maybe what their master plan is or something like that, something that's like going to be like helpful to us. And then I would like, as my extra thing, if this is how it works, to be that I can rip that page out without it looking like I ripped a page out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow that. Um, so you find kind of one of the earlier pages. It seems to have on one page a list of names with what seem to be little things written next to them in Latin. And then on the back, it's a Latin text, and it's the only page that you see flipping through that is just very clearly in Latin. Oh, you're muted.
I'm going to rip that page out, close the book back, and then quickly look at the blueprint and then get out of there.
Okay. You kind of open up the blueprint, and it is real old. And you see that it's a house, and the house has sort of a secret entrance to kind of a large underground basement in the plans.
Okay, is it of this house?
No.
Okay.
Again, it looks real old. Looking around on it, you see in some of the notations that the architect seems to have dated it as being in the built in or designed at least in 1885.
Okay. There's no like address or street and anything on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, cool. And this box, how big is it? That's in there.
It's a little larger than a like a kind of your standard jewelry box, so
Okay.
not as big as a shoebox.
Okay. Marking as things to do later. Okay. Then I'm going to go. Make sure everything's closed, and then go.
All right. Looking at any of the other rooms, or
Sarah's still standing guard, right?
yes.
I'm gonna peek down the stairs to make sure she's still there. She's not talking to anybody, right?
No, she doesn't look to be.
Okay. I'm gonna go in the master.
Okay. Okay.
I'm pushing it. I'm going in the master.
All right. So, where I'm gonna go to James again. James, you've been looking around here for a while and you haven't found anything.
Yep. I mean, I think the plan had kind of been to do some more sabotage, not the like, oh, it's gonna blow up right away kind of thing, but in the because I think it might have been the last loop, but there had been an attempt where I, snuck down and just like, okay, they turn this, try and flip the switch, it's not gonna do anything. Now I think I want it to be when they flip the switch, it's gonna, catch fire, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Then give me A repair.
This is the opposite of repair.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. That is a 5.
Okay. Yeah. You succeed. It'll do what you said on the 10. Yeah. It's when they turn it on, it's going to start a fire in the machine. Probably not going to be, an explosion or anything crazy like that. No raises were had, but yeah, it's not going to work and it'll catch fire.
Were red solo cups a thing in 1980?
Yeah.
If possible, I want to pop back up to the kitchen quietly and ask Sarah to try and pass me one, because I'm assuming there are spares in the kitchen. Because I want to try and get some of this bubbling liquid.
Sure. I mean,
You're
even
gonna
if
put bubbling liquid in a solo cup?
Hey, college kids have done worse for as long as solo cups have been around.
All right. Yeah. She tosses you a solo cup.
I thank her, head back down, and try and get some of this liquid without any of it touching me.
Okay. Yeah. I am gonna roll.
Why?
A stealth for Sarah to stealthily get you the solo cup.
Come on, Sarah. Does Sarah have any bennies? I guess that was partially a joke, but this is also, she is an extra, and we don't know how extras work exactly.
So if she was a wild card extra, yes, she would have 2 of her own bennies.
Okay.
But I did roll it as if she was a wild card. Yeah, I mean, we'll say she's a wild card.
Okay. So yeah, her output is even more different. I don't understand. Well, I guess must be untrained in stealth, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. It rolls it on its... Oh, well, that's weird. Okay.
If she got a 5 and it's -1...
-2. Yes. So it did it right. You're supposed to be -2 if you're untrained.
That's a times. I've been thinking that's an asterisk this whole time. The, 1 - 0 there for most of us. It's been saying
that's what that's for. Got it. Weird. Okay. Well, she can use a Benny. Now's the time. I'll do a wild card on skill test, because that's what it's for. Submit. Another
Still
3.
A 3. Well.
The girl now.
Okay. She could theoretically use the last penny. This system doesn't put a cap on how often you can retry, but it's not great. Not great odds. I don't think I'm going to ever use it. I think, yeah. So somebody notices you. She's kind of handing you the solo cup, and you look over her shoulder, and someone has kind of turned their attention away from the game and is heading to the kitchen to get a drink. And they kind of look at you like, what the hell? Yeah.
What did it? I don't want to.
And it's just like a party goer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to undo that, but is it possible that I could have hissed at her to turn around and then, because I imagine it looks like I'm sticking out through a door right now because of the illusion magic. If I could have popped back behind the illusion.
Got it. Yeah, roll me a stealth check of your own.
Sure. That's a 7.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, yeah, you kind of like quickly get back in, and like grab the solo cup from Sarah at a vantage point where this person isn't going to be able to see it, and it just kind of looks like, you imagine it must look like that Sarah is just standing and staring at the pantry door in the middle of this party, and you're pretty sure the guy didn't see you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. Are the Millers the kind who would? Do they? I know they're not the kind, but do they seem like they would be the kind to pass around weed at a party in the 80s? Is that a thing that happened in the 80s?
I mean, if anything, I would guess cocaine.
Oh yeah.
But
this is the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's 1980s, so I don't know how much it's transitioned to being the 80s, and it's not just like still pretty much the 70s. But yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't think of a way for James to offer Sarah any more assistance here without blowing our cover. So.
Yeah, Sarah, you just hear Sarah kind of like talking to a guy. You're like, oh, hey, how's it? He's kind of like, you doing all right? You haven't been drinking too much, right? Oh, no, it's fine. I just, let's see, let's have her roll something to persuasion. She's not bad at it. Submit. Okay. Yeah. She's just like, oh yeah, I just kind of zoned out there for a second. Was thinking I'd try and look for something somewhere to throw something away, but it's all right. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. And you hear a fridge open and shut, and sound of a beer bottle open. Yeah, you kind of release your held breath and can go back down to the basement.
Yep, which I do now with red solo cup in hand, and I'm gonna try and get me some mysterious liquid.
All right. So the first thing you notice is that it seems to be the only way into the tank with all the liquid in it is through the chair or through the table that's kind of on top of it, and it's kind of like a latched on, screwed on kind of thing. So it's going to take you a minute to gain access to the tank, and then get it back so that they don't notice that it's been tampered with.
Okay. Well, I've got my fanny pack of tools, so I will attempt to set to work.
Yeah. Give me a repair. There's no chance of failure. I just wanted to see if it takes you a long time.
Sure. Oh dang, that's an 11.
Yeah. You aced and got a 5 on your D6. So yeah, you did really well. You're basically done immediately. You're just like, oh, here we go. Quick, unscrew, get it back. Yeah. You dunk the solo cup in there, and it's got this bubbling liquid in it. I will say it is surprisingly viscous.
Okay.
It looks like it would be water. That's especially with the way it bubbles, and as you hit, there's like a resistance to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's bubbling with some gas. You say it seems like it would be water. Is it clear, opaque?
Yeah, it looks like it's water that's kind of like been carbonated or something. Um, and there's kind of like you're not seeing it now, but when you saw it in use, there's kind of a light blue tint to it, and now it's definitely looking just a lot more clear. And as you kind of get it out, it's heavier than you would have expected.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think prize in hand, I will, redo the equipment so that, you know, leave without a trace, and then I think that's as much as James wants to push things now, so is going to, head back up to the kitchen, poking, head through briefly to make sure there's no one other than Sarah right there before emerging and, acting like he was just chilling in the kitchen with Sarah the whole time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you're good. Clara, you're
That's
going to the
me.
master bedroom.
I just want to see it.
Okay. It is very well decorated. Yeah, they have nice taste and nice things, it would seem.
Okay. Do any of them seem like relic
Like really, really old.
Yeah.
There's some picture frames that look like they're really old. Yeah, I would say there's kind of an antique nature to a lot of the things.
Okay.
Here.
Which would make sense if they've been around for that long. I would do that too. Sorry, I just looked over at my character sheet and the first thing I saw was Glock. Oh yeah,
Glock.
I have a gun. Not with me, but I do have a gun. Yeah, okay, so in the closet, does it all looks like really like it's put out and used, sort of like they're actually like living here and sleeping here, and like they're doing like normal people things. I can assume, right?
It's not a bedroom for show. Like they don't just have a bedroom in case someone gets suspicious and checks to see if they have a bedroom.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, maybe I should like go in the bathroom and check to make sure that they have like, just to see if they have like, shampoo and conditioner and toothpaste, like just like those things that like maybe someone who wasn't human didn't think about, like floss or something. But no, I don't think I need anything else right at this point. I don't want to push my luck too much because I got a lot. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back downstairs.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you make it downstairs. Yeah, you didn't really push it any further. I'm not gonna make you do another stealth roll or anything. And it's not weird to be coming from the upstairs. Yeah. There's a bathroom up there.
Oh, good. We're good.
Okay. Should we leave?
I don't know if we should.
Probably.
That cup.
What they melted the people into.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Then why don't you leave out the front door, so that they don't see that. And we'll just say that you weren't feeling well, and that we have sisterly things to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
That works.
Okay. Cool. Do you think they'll think it's weird that we're not leaving with everyone else? Do you think everyone's gonna leave at the same time?
Probably, but I don't know that we can afford to wait until then.
Okay. All right, fair. You go. We'll stay a little bit longer and kind of cover, and then we'll head back home. Okay.
I think James is going to, before leaving, like quickly rifle through the kitchen drawers, find some saran wrap, cover over the top of the solo cup.
Tinfoil, so it's not see-through.
Right, yeah, tinfoil.
What is saran wrap made?
But just to be safe, cover it up, and then we'll attempt to leave without being noticed, arrested. I was gonna say arrested, but that's not police arrested, but the stopped by anyone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, you
Oh, yeah.
make it out easy enough. If Sarah and Clara want to go say bye to the Millers, which Miller do you want to go to?
Mrs. Miller, please.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You approach her, and she's kind of talking to some folks.
Mm-hmm. Hi, so sorry. We're gonna have to go. Unfortunately, just we have a lot because she's only in town for a little bit of time. We're gonna head back to the house. But it was lovely. The food was amazing. And the toast was amazing as well.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm sorry you had to leave early, but I understand family's in town.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks, you guys too. I'll hope to see you around.
All right. I'd like a persuasion just to
God.
just to be convincingly friendly.
I am untrained. Do I use the wild card unskilled test?
Yes.
Okay.
I think either one works, but I'm not 100%. So
okay. Don't fuck me. That's a 3.
You still have 2 bennies, right?
I do.
You have to roll a 6 on your d6 or pin on your d4.
Yeah, I don't think that it doesn't. I don't think that me not being like overly friendly right now is the biggest of deals.
Sure.
So
no, I won't push it.
Yeah, it's one of those. She might see it as a little white lie or something, but it's whatever. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it doesn't change anything that she says.
Yeah. Okay. Then we'll go back to the house. Walking casually.
As nonchalant as possible.
Exactly. Fly casually. And then when we get back to the house, I would like to go translate this Latin as quickly as possible.
All right. And you know Latin, correct?
I believe, I believe Latin was one of the ones I picked up. Linguist. Let's see. Did I write it down?
I remember you at some point saying that Clara knew Latin, but that may have also been on the previous character sheets.
Yeah, well, I think we went through it last time, because I picked up linguist. Games, okay. But why wouldn't I write them down? That's the question. Maybe I did write them down. Hold on. Clara can speak English, Greek, Ancient Roman, Latin, and French.
Okay.
I did write it down. Look at me.
All right. Yes.
I mean, this might be a different dialect, but it'll take time.
Yeah. So the big thing here is the names all have some little indications of it's things like killed before ? And seems to be loyal, new password, things like that on all these old names. Oh, you're muted.
So they're notes about the people?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reverse side, which is the whole page written in Latin, as you kind of start getting into it, it seems to be written in Latin and written in code.
Ooh, okay. Love a good puzzle.
And so an investigation check will allow you to potentially decode it.
Okay. All right. Come on, D10. Let's go. This is what I do. I rolled a 5.
That's good. Yeah. 5 is a basic success. And it's not like it's a crazy complicated code. It looks like it's pretty old, and it looks like it's made for him to be able to kind of quickly go through it. And it's not like it was written in a time when Latin would have been, widely used. So
Yeah.
he was already kind of concealing it with two basic things. It's a very simple, letter replacement code.
Okay.
And so if you've ever done any of those letter replacement puzzles, it takes you a minute, but probably within 2 hours you've got it translated.
Okay, cool.
James, anything you want to do for those 2 hours?
I think is going to have a 'cause I'm trying to remember. I think actually during this time is going to like fill Sarah in and just like let her ask questions and be like, okay, here's what's going on. And I think starts it off with like, this may be liquid people. Would this go in the fridge or do we leave it at room temperature?
James.
So
I don't know.
Clara, I think our best bet is for you to talk to someone in the chemistry department and get them to analyze this, but it's the weekend, so we gotta put this somewhere until then.
I mean, it was at room temperature, right?
Yeah, that was also in what I've been able to tell what material the vat was.
It was clear as looks like it was maybe glass or
Okay.
I mean maybe plastic, but all the stuff looks kind of old. You wouldn't guess plastic.
Okay, so I think going to find like we've probably got, glass, cookware or something, find something that I can transfer the liquid into, more secure than a solo cup. Put that away, and then be on hand to answer Sarah's questions.
How much are you telling her?
I think unless Clara is going to like shut herself in her room to do the decoding, I think maybe, Clara's at the table doing her stuff and we're just, either the next room over with the doors open or something. And so, at any time Clara can be like, don't answer that. But I think at this point, given all that we have asked her to do for us today, James is in the mindset of, asking, just be open.
I think she pretty much is going to try and get the whole story out of you.
Oh boy, do you tell her that I didn't have a sister last time?
I think that is the one thing that he will kind of shy away from, but other than that is just like, here's what happened. I don't know if her line of question will even get to, hey, because have we said that we've done this before? I can't remember, but if she does...
No, I think you left it out. I think you're also muted, LB.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking to myself.
Yeah, but I think if she does ask, like, well, where was I last time? I'll just say, you didn't come before.
I think that probably, that probably does come up, that she didn't come previously. This is the first time Clara has been arrested.
Yep.
And and you didn't make it very long either on those other ones. There's only a couple of days each time, or like a day or something like that. So you're probably takes you the full 2 hours because she is going to ask for clarification and stuff like that. And when you're done sort of decoding this, it is a list of ingredients and basically a recipe. I would say it's not a recipe, as you know it's not made to be cooked. It looks like something that would be used in like chemistry or alchemy back in the day.
Okay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like for banana bread?
Yeah.
Okay.
Add
What is-
2
does it
tops
have, like-
melted human for flavor.
Yeah. It. Um. Does it say what the outcome is?
It references it to be for an kind of enchantment of some kind. It's to it seems you dip something made of bronze in it, and it conveys some sort of magical effect.
Oh. Bronze starts with a B, not a P.
Prawns.
Prawns.
So yeah, that's kind of the first part. The most of it, I would say. At the bottom of the page, there is indication that the preliminary experimentation of the dagger seems to yield interesting results.
Oh God. Oh boy.
This may be getting ahead. If you still have questions for Clara, go ahead. But I think if she is like explaining this to the group, I mean, I am most curious. What are the most outlandish ingredients or steps, or does this seem like something we could whip up on our own?
Do I have the assumption that what they are doing in the basement is this recipe to make that liquid?
You probably not.
Okay.
Unless they've ended up using it for something radically different than dipping bronze things into it. Because the liquid doesn't seem to be touching bronze stuff at all in the tube.
No, I'm sorry. The recipe is for something that you then dip bronze in, or the recipe has to do with dipping something in bronze in it.
So you make something, you dip bronze in it, and it seems to enchant it.
Okay. So the liquid that's in the basement that is made from people is not the okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, so does it like the ingredients that are involved, are these things that we could readily get? Or sorry, I think that's what James just asked, or Alex just asked. But is it like, do they seem to be like things in the world?
Yeah. So yeah, most of the sort of like chemical looking things are absolutely something you can get in the world. There are some things that are definitely a little bit more on the occult end of things, where it asks for the feathers from a dead black bird, and things like that. Those are some of the more outlandish ingredients, but two ingredients sort of stand out in particular as something that might be hard to come by. One is a treasured possession of a murdered man.
Okay.
And the other is Egyptian dream crystals.
Okay. Egyptian dream crystals.
Well, I have no idea what that second one is, but what are the odds that this recipe is sexist as hell? Or could we maybe get something from... I need to go back and check my notes because it's been so long. No, the dead girl that they think that Carol's.
Carol.
Carol, yeah. Carol Brown.
Oh, my pencil's gone forever. Okay. Back up. I mean, I guess if it's like an occult spell, I feel like they're pretty specific. Like you can't use a bluebird feather if it's a blackbird. But...
Right, but
I mean, we could try.
I guess we're kind of jumping ahead. Are we going to try and cook this
I don't know.
up?
Oh, I also saw there was a blueprint in the house of a different house built. Well, the blueprint was made in 1885. I don't know what the records look like anymore, or if there's anything on record for that. It wouldn't be. I might be able to, if I see it, I might be able to pick it out again. But they had a secret basement. We might be able to go there and find out more.
Okay. Yeah, that's... I mean, what are the odds that that house is somewhere in Silver Falls? But if it is, we could maybe go to City Hall and try and check,
I mean,
public records or something.
They were here. The picture in the mines, that was around the same time, right?
Yes. And you guys know that Silver Falls was a mining town back in the day.
Yeah. So, I mean, I assume that they were here around that time. It must be here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's something I can try and do. And I'm trying to figure out if this is me completely bullshitting or if this is something James would actually have some knowledge of, being kind of a repairman. I mean, he's not like a construction worker, but, needs to know stuff about how houses are built, and so is probably at least passingly familiar with blueprints and, possibly checking stuff with, public records of like, gets called to do a repair or something. It's like, well, okay, what are the blueprints? What do they say?
He's an electrician, right?
Yeah, primarily an electrician.
So he would have to understand, like, the school's blueprints at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen blueprints before, we'll say.
Yeah, but I guess more.
I don't know.
You've seen a blueprint.
More so,
you know how they work.
Yeah, more so in terms
you've
of
had to
like
work with them.
knowing how to search through, public records of blueprints and trying to find potential matches.
I don't know if you would spend a lot of your own time doing that, but I think you would be able to, people who do that kind of stuff when you've had need for them to do it before.
Sure.
You're aware of the process.
Okay. Because, yeah, that is, I think, the next actionable thing that James is seeing himself as being able to do. Because, there's, get Clara's friend to, surely she has friends in all the departments. Get, a chemistry friend to analyze the liquid. She keeps doing her research. James is going to try and make himself useful by actually, doing some hunting down these blueprints and finding out what they are for.
Okay. Yeah, and I would say also when you're looking at the blueprints, you would have clocked the the name of the architect, because he would have had to sign off on him.
You were muted.
Do you have a name or?
Yes.
We'll call him Charles Wedgwood.
Charles Wedgwood.
That feels far too prepared to be off the cuff like you said. Oh, we'll just call him that.
It's an old character name.
Ah.
I was gonna say I wish I could pull names out of my ass that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a play on Charles Darwin. Wedgwood was his mother's maiden name.
Okay.
So
Clever boy.
All right. So, yeah. You. I'll refresh this because it's too old. Yeah, you're the architect's name, so you can definitely go pull up any blueprints that Wedgwood has filed with the city that are still on record. And Clara, if you wanted to try and recreate whatever this enchanting liquid is, you could do that, or you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Do I have any friends? Do I know any Egyptologists? We're going full circle on these characters.
Hmm.
I don't know what this would be as far as like, would it be like a mythology teacher or?
Yeah. So this is a bit. You are involved in the occult.
Yeah.
So I would say you know some people you might run in that kind of circle.
Mm-hmm.
You could ask about if they know it, and past that, I don't think you've had any. You've already established an anthropologist friend, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So you talk to them. Past that, if they don't know, they could probably recommend something to you.
Okay.
Or someone to you.
Okay. Cool. All right. I was gonna try and find my anthropologist friend. I'm sure that the name is somewhere.
Yeah.
But
I can search for it on the break if we want.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I will just take a moment to sit down with my sister and my sister and make sure she's okay. See if she needs anything.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a big story. You're both kind of behind it.
Yeah.
I think you can probably tell she's not 100% on board with it. She has just seen a magic illusion doorway, and some really weird stuff going on. So she's not, calling 911 to try and get you committed, but
appreciated.
She seems skeptical, and kind of talking to you. She'll kind of freely admit that she's, that either way, this is scary.
Yeah.
Right. She goes, you guys are right. That's terrifying. And I mean, if this is not what's going on, that's, I'm scared for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you know me really well, right?
Yeah.
So I think if I was gonna have a mental breakdown, it'd probably be something about aliens, huh?
I mean, you're not wrong, but still, this seems a little weird, and a little more than.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you saw the liquid, and
I mean, it's a bubbling liquid. There's nothing I mean, I saw the weird table in the basement, and I saw what is clearly something weird going on with their fake pantry doorway.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people act sort of strange.
Sort of strange. Everyone arriving at the exact same. When have you ever seen anyone arrive at the exact same moment?
Never, ever in my entire life. But still, it's a big jump from everyone arrived at a party at the same time to you're trapped in a death loop thing and your neighbors are murderous aliens.
Yeah, I get that. I do. But I'm glad that you aren't running screaming, at least.
I mean, obviously something weird is going on. I'm going to help you find it. And if I'm being skeptical, that can only help us figure it out, as far as I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
tell.
Okay. I'm just gonna talk to James real quick before he takes off, and then
Absolutely.
we'll go get some of this done, I guess.
Hey, and bright side, if what you say is true, no consequences, right? So take some risks.
The camera zooms out as Clara looks at this sister that she's never had before, and she's like, "Yep, no consequences." Turns and moves out to the garage. I'm sorry, I assumed James was in the garage. I feel like that's where he lives when he's not.
Yeah, I mean, he, would have excused himself so that the sisters could talk, but is also not too far because, again, this is a surprise sister and wants to be on hand in case things go weird. But so yeah, you find him not too far away, but politely far away.
How about, since I imagine we're on the main level, she just kind of like pushes him into the garage, like closes the door behind her, and she just takes off her glasses and like has a moment to herself. She's sniffling a little bit, and she's just like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this person who I don't know, who is my sister, who loves me, who I've never met before, and we've told her all this stuff, but I can't tell her that I don't know she's not my sister, because that would break her heart and make me sound even more crazy.
I do not envy you your position. This is tough.
And what if we die again and she is gone? What if she's just not my sister anymore, and then I'm attached to her like she is my sister, and I lose a family member?
I wish I had answers for you. I do. All I can say is that I will be here to support you in whatever it is you choose and how you handle her. If you want, we could go back in and tell her, "Oh yeah, one more thing. We you we you don't exist originally," or go fully along with
That's a good
this.
idea.
Probably not, but if that's what you want to do, then we'll do it. Or if you get fully attached and something happens and she's not there anymore, then I'll be here to support you in your grief.
That's very sweet. I'm sorry that we're both on this weird ride, but I'm so glad that you're here with me, honestly.
Ditto.
Sorry, I just had to have a moment.
Take all the moments you need. This is some shit.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't so terrifying, it'd be fascinating, but people dying, people getting mind controlled. Not a normal neighborhood anymore, I guess.
Nope.
And I thought inviting you to live with me was a shakeup.
Yes, well, just count on the universe to, one up that.
Yeah. Sorry, you go do what you were gonna do. I'll go contact my colleagues and see if we can get this figured out.
Well, before we do that, I did remember, isn't there that UFO club meeting tonight or something?
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Is that something you want to go to tonight? It seems like they're a weekly thing,
Well,
but also
how many times are we gonna make it to Friday,
yeah,
Saturday?
I imagine it's the weekend. A lot of the stuff we want to do probably isn't open or available anyway.
Right. I'm just thinking if we die again, we're gonna have to reset. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll go to that tonight. I guess still got a little bit of time.
Yeah. It's I mean, you guys ducked out around lunchtime, and it's been maybe like 4 hours after that, so it's like 4 p.m., 5 p.m.
Okay. So yeah, I'll make the phone calls and see where everyone's at. Okay. Thanks.
All right. So I think now might be a good time for our break then.
Yeah.
And coming back to UFO Club. Is that the plan?
Seems like it. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us thus far. Let's see, we've had a new follower, too. Thank you. We are going to take a quick break here to refresh ourselves. You should refresh yourselves. We can't refresh you. That would be weird. But take this time, get some water, get some snacks, have some, take your meds, all that good stuff, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, Internet. We are refreshed and ready to go and hope you are too. If you're not, if you're watching live, if you're watching later on YouTube or a VOD, pause now, make sure you're refreshed, and then resume. And you're good. Alright. Let's go.
Okay.
I love Tuesday night streams, guys. I don't care what anybody says. I love our Tuesday night stream.
Yeah. Who's saying what? All right.
No one's saying anything, but what do I need to talk to about this, eh?
Let me know who it is. I just want to talk.
Yeah. And I'm getting pretty good at lecturing people. No. Anyway. Yeah. So you're going to make a couple of phone calls, a chemist, to see if you can have someone analyze your no longer a solo cup full of goo. Instead, it's what, a glass, kitchen glass. What do you got?
Yeah, just like, a mixing thing or like a measuring thing.
you got that the measuring
Pyrex,
cup. Yeah, that red, the red writing,
yes.
that everyone has. Has existed since the dawn of time.
I could probably reach into my kitchen and grab mine from here, but that's too much for the bit.
Yeah. Yeah. You get it in there. You have a solid cup and a half of this stuff. And yeah, so you're calling a chemist?
Yes.
Friend of yours? Have we established a chemist friend?
We have not. So. Not yet.
All right. You're in the College of Sciences and stuff, so I would say it's not outrageous for you to have a chemist friend.
Working at this facility is the best thing that we ever decided.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, to be fair, I think it does cover, because David has mentioned, like, he's run kind of this campaign for other people, and there are typically more players there. So, more people to cover.
Well,
more
and,
things.
I mean, the old system very much is like, detail out the people you know
Gotcha.
and stuff like that. And it really encourages you to know people you can call on for favors.
Yep.
And this system, while it doesn't necessarily do that, it sort of encourages you to potentially bring in a bunch of people into your fights and stuff like that. So knowing people seems to be something these systems like you to do.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay, so a chemist. What do we want to say this chemist's name is?
Peter.
Peter?
Peter.
Griffin?
No.
Okay.
Peter Griffin.
If I could do the voice, he would have already been named Peter Griffin.
No. I was gonna make a chemistry pun.
Well, because saltpeter. Because saltpeter, so we could do something with that. Like
saltpeter?
Yeah, saltpeter, one of the ingredients to gunpowder.
Oh. Peter Salt.
Okay. Peter Salt.
Salt, Peter.
I forgot to look up the
so Professor
Salt's friend's name.
And the what? What, Alex?
I forgot to look up the anthropologist's friend's name. Stephen Reynolds.
Something Reynolds.
Yeah, so Stephen Reynolds was the anthropologist friend.
Okay. Reynolds, anthropologist.
Right, your lawyer is Frank Horseman, Esquire.
Mm-hmm. Frank Horseman. You have so many friends. Have you invented many friends, Alex, in this game?
There have been people, because there was like the backup electrician I called in. I don't think I've given names to most of these people. But there have been others, and like you said, there are plenty of people that James has reached out to for professional assistance.
Frank Horseman is the best. All right. Got to get him involved again. No. Okay, so you're calling up Professor Salt. You're muted again.
Yes, Professor Salt.
Okay.
In the library with the candlestick.
Haha.
All right. Yeah. Anything I should know about Professor Salt?
Professor Salt has a sweet tooth.
Sweet. Does he like those I forget which country it is.
Loves salted caramels.
Okay, likes salted caramels. Have you ever had any I think they're like salt licorices. I think they sell them there. It's in one of those like Norse countries.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
So you look at the candies and they look like they're coated in sugar, but it's salt. And so you just get like a big mouthful of salt and black licorice.
Ooh, you had me until black licorice.
It looks horrible. I've never tried one.
If it was
somebody who likes black licorice, that sounds like, I don't even know if that sounds good.
I mean, I've just got red vines right next to me. It's like, that combined with salt, like, yes, please, but...
The Budweiser of licorice. How dare you?
Hey, no, red vines clearly superior to Twizzlers. But I also think this is more like a West Coast, East Coast thing, so...
Maybe. All right,
Anyway.
anyways.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That'll be a different stream. Next Tuesday, tune in for our debate over red vine versus Twizzlers. But yeah, for today, you're calling up Peter Salt. Yeah, it's evening. He answers his phone. He's not out.
Okay. Hi, Peter. It's Professor Kriegers. I was wondering, I have a a liquid that I found. One of my students brought to me. They said it was leaking in their apartment. And I'm wondering if you could take a look at it and perhaps tell me what it is.
I mean, yeah, but how do they not know what it is?
It's a pipe that doesn't lead to, it's not like the water pipe or the gas pipe. It's kind of just one of those. They're not quite sure what it is. And it's the weekend, so the landlord isn't answering, a maintenance emergencies sort of situation. They just want to make sure that it's safe, especially with their cat.
I mean, if it's a weird, unidentifiable liquid from a pipe, you don't know what it does.
Right.
I would suggest you tell them to leave the apartment. But sure,
Right.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
You've piqued my curiosity.
I thought I might. Yeah, do you want, I could probably drop it off at your, I'm going into town. I could probably leave it in the lab and label it for you. Or would you rather I bring it to your house?
I mean, how about I meet you? It's time sensitive. You want me to look at this tomorrow?
I wouldn't, I don't want to bother you too much about it, but it is very strange. It was almost bubbling, and it's a lot heavier than it looks. So it's one of those things, but I'm very curious about it as well. So, but if you see it and you don't think it's anything interesting, then of course it can wait. But if you feel like it's something you want to look into, I'll leave that up to you.
Okay. I mean, how do I need to look at this tonight?
I don't think you need to look at it tonight, but
All right.
I could drop it off since I'm going into town.
Oh, you're going into town tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, you got keys, right, to the labs. Yeah, you just drop it off, and I mean, honestly, you just leave it on my desk.
Okay.
Oh,
It's in a it's going to be in a Pyrex container, a measuring cup, and I'll put some foil over it just in case, because I'm not certain if saran wrapping it is I don't know if I should vent it or not.
I don't know if anything's a good idea for it. I mean,
yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, I'll just put some tin foil over it, and then you can take a look at it when you get to it.
all right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, professors. I'll leave some. You know what? I do have some Jolly Ranchers. I don't know, are Jolly Ranchers a thing in the
To
Jolly
Google.
Ranchers.
It's a basic hard candy.
Yeah.
If not, there's an
1949.
equivalent.
Yeah.
So they've been around a while.
1949. Okay, yes. God, it makes you. This game has made me realize how many things are really old.
Yeah.
Like 1900s, like before 1950s old.
It's like the other day, I literally saw a tweet that was saying there's been as much time between 1939 and 1980 as there's been between 1980 and today.
Mm-hmm.
We're all 90s kids. We still think the 80s were like a decade ago.
I know. I'll leave a couple of Jolly Ranchers with it, just as a thank you.
All right, sure. I do like a good Jolly Rancher.
Okay. Have a good night, Professor.
Thanks. You too. I'll call you. Is there a time you're gonna be home? I can call you.
I'll be home all day tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
He hangs up.
Clara just kind of looks at Sarah and's like, I don't know how I came up with that. So I used to be worse at lying. I feel like I've gotten better at it. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
I don't think you've gotten better at it.
Well,
I don't.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Okay, now I need to call Professor Reynolds. And then, or Sarah, do you want to go to the event with me?
Sure.
Okay.
The UFO thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I think just to clarify, James is intending to attend as well, especially
Okay.
because it is Saturday and there's nothing else to do.
That's fair. Yeah. Clara is going to call Professor Reynolds.
All right. My laptop gets so much brighter than it was before. Whatever. All right. Yeah. Professor Reynolds. Okay, yeah, he answers.
Hello, Professor Reynolds. I had a question for you. I'm sorry, I know it's late on a Saturday, but I've been reading some text and I came across an interesting script in Latin that describes an Egyptian dream crystal. Are you aware of what that might be?
Huh. Let's see if he
okay?
knows. I was gonna just say something, and I was like, no, I should probably roll dice. How good is he at anthropology? Pretty good. Give him a D10.
Yeah.
He theoretically has a PhD in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I'll give him a D12. And yeah, he's not a wild card, so he doesn't get the D6. It's just a straight D12.
Oh,
that is
boy.
a 1. He has never heard of it before in his life. No, it's not anything I'm familiar with. It's not, at very least, it's not a common part of any kind of Egyptian belief or anything like that. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, I thought I would ask. Do you know anyone who might know, like an Egyptologist or anything like that, who would know more specifics?
I can give someone your number.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Reynolds.
All right. Yeah, hangs up.
Okay. Yeah. So then we wait a little bit and head to the, was it at the library?
I don't remember where.
The YMCA.
Oh, yeah, the YMCA. That's right. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, yeah, you guys head off to the YMCA, and you're very enthusiastically greeted by a room of 7 people. They only have 7 chairs set up. They very much were not expecting anyone else.
We can stand if there's not enough room.
The guy who I'm forgetting the name of the person you talked to.
Was it Mike
I can look
something?
I just every time I like turn the page, it's like Frank Horseman Esquire.
Okay. Okay. Let me search my notes for YMCA.
Chris.
Right,
yes.
Chris.
Yeah. Just had the name tag.
My other
That's
brother's
right.
name.
Of the Silver Flats Longhouse.
Yeah. So you see Chris pop up, kind of go forward and go, oh, you came, and he kind of greets you, and he tells someone to go get some chairs, and there's a bunch of chairs kind of lined up over they're the folding metal chairs, and they grab you 3, and they kind of bring them over, and they kind of expand the circle out a little bit more. There's a table and it looks like some people have bought some snacks and they've placed them at the table. There's some like brownies that have been made, and then some, Lay's chips and in a bowl, and just a pack of soda.
Mm-hmm.
Soda brand soda.
We'll say it's Mr. Pibb.
Mr.
We don't want Dr. Pepper coming after us. So
okay. Mr. Pibb release date. We can stick with it.
Yeah.
74. Okay, we're good.
Nice.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, of course. I was very interested in the topic when we were discussing it the other day. This is my sister Sarah and my friend James.
They kind of all, talk to you for a bit and get their introductions, and before they kind of just go, all right, well, so you have new people, and because we had read, and he holds up the book, and it is it's a book about UFO sightings in the Midwest.
Oh.
For like the past 100 years or so. Because we've been reading this. It's a little out of date. It was written about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And because because you can, if you want to get your own copies, you can. Or if you're really interested, I've read this a bunch of times. I can lend you a copy. And so that's kind of what we've been planning on discussing, but we got some new people here, so I think I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but is there anything you want to talk about?
Well, we're interested in well, I'm interested in specifically like blue electrical storms and maybe abductions of people who went missing and they never came back, and at the longhouse they have those runes on the wall that aren't quite Norse, so I find that interesting as a linguist myself. um, she kind of looks to James like, help me.
She knows more than I do, but yeah, I mean, that sounds like I live with her. She's been going on about this stuff, almost every day.
You're gonna make me sound like I'm crazy.
Have you seen our company here?
Oh, we're just sort of, entranced and perhaps about the alien, makeup, if they can live a long time or take human form, that sort of thing.
All right. Well, Blue Electrical Storm, actually, and he does hand you the book. He goes, it kind of gets talked about in here pretty frequently. It's pretty common, kind of sighting along with these kind of events, and yeah, abductions and things like that. All par for the course. I in terms of the specifics of aliens, goes kind of looking around the room, and people kind of say some names of creatures, and they kind of go, some of those kind of things, and these are just nonsense names to you. And he goes, and but when it comes down to it, these are, sketchy reports at best, and no one really knows enough about them to tell you if they could live a long time or not.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of like asking, for like very detailed stuff about like Bigfoot, right? Like
Right.
we want to know these things. We're very interested in them, and I can point you towards some reading.
Right.
So they know that I'm just trying to figure out their mindset of like, oh yeah, Bigfoot's baloney, but aliens.
Yeah.
They're not. He didn't imply that it's baloney.
Yeah,
But that's like, it's not like anyone knows
Yeah.
a lot about Bigfoot. Like,
sure.
people are looking for him.
Yeah.
I was gonna say LB. Claire's gonna lean over to James and kind of whisper to him, should we tell them what we know? I mean, if anyone's gonna believe us, they're gonna believe us.
Because my understanding is that this is a weekly meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not tonight. Let's see how things go. Find out how kooky they are or aren't. And
Right.
play it by ear. Maybe next week or next time we're at this one.
Okay. Might be a silly idea, but maybe get some information about them, like as individuals, so that if we come back, like if we die and come back, then we'll know something about them and it'll corroborate that our story. Corroborate our story. Sorry, that's an LB mouth issue. That's not a Clara issue.
Yes. The players are opposite of what the characters would know with that word.
Yes.
But yes, yeah, makes sense. I don't know if they have, a break time for snacks, but we can, ask some questions.
Just
Gotta know
get to
them.
know them a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, it seems kind of pretty loosey goosey as the evening goes on. People kind of get up and grab snacks just as is, and it definitely is more like a book club, than anything else. And they start going into the stuff they find interesting, and they do really focus on these blue electrical storms. They're not the only thing that gets focused on.
Yeah.
Because the book has got a huge list of these sightings, and it investigates kind of the way the book is set up as you kind of flip through it, sort of groups them into like types of events and like has chapters on those. So there's a whole chapter on these electrical storms, and that they sort of seem to sporadically appear in like very like sort of confined region, like a city or a town, for weeks, months, sometimes years, before disappearing from there and moving to somewhere else.
So there is a timeline of like this, it's happening here and then here and then here and then here, and it's very linear.
Yeah. For the most part, there's some outliers in there, but there's not really outliers until until sort of recently, when people started kind of putting together the pattern of it. And so it can make it, your thought on it, well, I'm not going to say what your thought on it is, but as this sort of myth becomes more well known, there starts to be multiple events happening like at the same time in different areas and stuff like that.
So like people are getting on their shit and they're like, oh shit, we have to do something else, so that they can't follow it, sort of. That's what that's what I think it is. Okay. I think Clara will say to them, so the electrical storms, do you think that they are a ship, or do you think they're a machine that they might have on the Earth? because they don't seem to be, too much like in the clouds. They're kind of localized.
Yeah. So that's something that they, as you're kind of focusing on that part of it, it's an interesting thought. And the author kind of talks about the possibility that, maybe it's even, maybe it's extra dimensional or something. Maybe it's someone, coming in from another plane of existence or something like that and abducting these people. But yeah, the ship itself seems to, in this particular one, seems to be a little bit less of a thing, because it's not like a storm and like clouds. It's just like a lot of electric stuff near the surface.
Yeah. Because I was thinking at the cave, there seemed to be some markings on the floor that looked like, maybe something had been there, like a machine, and maybe it was moved.
Oh, I haven't. I've noticed the burn marks in there before, and so I thought maybe, and it's around the time, and he talks about, Silver Falls is in the book as as being one of these towns where these sightings have happened. And so yeah, that's interesting. I thought that maybe it was connected to the cave. It's yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. Clara was like, oh, I thought that was an actual thing that they had established, but now I'm revealing my hand too much. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And yeah, this one is these kind of sightings. There's, in terms of like creatures that go with it and like long life and things like that. The spotted, sightings are very rare. He talks about it in the book. There's really only, 2 sightings of this thing and any of the hit like that he could find. And one was, he talked about being, an explorer back, early days, like before America was its own thing.
A French explorer?
And yeah, I think it was. And yeah, the other one was in I think like the early 1800s, like maybe like 1830s or something like that. Similar thing, guy in Missouri saw same thing, and he goes on to describe the lizard like creature, 12 feet tall, head sticking straight up in the air.
Yeah. So this is matching what the French explorer was talking about?
Yes.
Okay, and did he tell me, I don't have that book, right?
No.
The one at one point. Or you have the Explorer's Journal, but that might have been the last loop. Maybe it's this loop as well.
No, it's this loop because it reset after that.
You got it last time, but it was before you met Mrs. Miller. So
yeah. So I would like the information on the you said it's the 1830s.
Yes. So he goes, yeah, it's I don't know the specific information on it, but he hands you his book because it's in the chapter, and I'm sure he's got a list of books he cites in the back. I'm sure it's got like a numeral or whatever.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking, what is it? A sighting is the word I'm looking. Live reaction tweets. Okay, that's perfect. Oh wow, okay. I think that'll really help with my research. I wonder, because these sightings were from, pre-colonial era and the 1830s, I wonder if they started understanding that, because I mean these electrical storms didn't stop. Obviously, they didn't leave. So maybe they figured out that the way they looked wasn't, it wasn't helpful. They camouflaged themselves to look like people. I mean, that would make sense, right?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I heard, stories of lizard people.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a school of thought. I don't know how much I personally subscribe to sort of the lizard people are out there.
Right. No.
But, in terms of like a general theory of, could aliens, disguise themselves as us? Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely a possibility. He goes in this book, they kind of go into that a little bit, and he kind of points to one of the later chapters of sort of like, dealing with like abductions and people being different when they come back, and things like that. Yeah, and various possibilities around it.
Okay. Does this book mention I got a list of names from a source. I'm wondering if I can cross-reference to see if any of the names are part of this storyline, I guess.
He's in this book. He's pretty sparing on the actual names. He references, like I said, a lot of the texts he's gotten it from.
Okay.
And so that's
okay. Claire's going to take notes on all of the books that he has referenced in the back, but mostly just the one from the 1830s in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
That's one she doesn't have. She'll probably move it back over to James at this point. Is there anything else we should ask them about right now?
It's about as much as I can think of for, the big stuff. There's, just making small talk and getting to know them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get a little bit of information and then move on.
All right. I'll have each of you roll me
Streetwise?
A social skill of your choosing, we'll say, if you want to do streetwise.
Do I intimidate them into telling me about them? Because that's my one good social
you want
skill.
to.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What is this group of, I am picturing, the nerdiest of nerds, and, I, as a female who really likes comic books and D&D and stuff, have been in the situation of I walk into a place with a bunch of nerdy people, normally a lot of men, and just immediately everyone is very interested in what you're interested in. Is that sort of the vibe that's going on here?
It's maybe a little bit, but there's also, it's not quite that. There's some older people here. There's some women here. I say there's 7 people, so I'm going to say it's 4 guys, 3 girls.
Okay.
A couple of them are older, and there's it's a mix of kind of nerds and then just straight up some farmers who you question how they got through the book.
Yeah.
Not to say farmers are uneducated,
right.
but these ones certainly look it.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Oh shit.
Oh dang! You got 2 6s.
I got 2 6s.
And then
okay.
Give me that good. Make up stuff about these people, David. Come on.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'll
go ahead and also.
All right. So what's one of these?
You can do it later too if you want to just.
Okay.
I'm not.
I don't want to put you on this. I feel bad.
Chris reveals a deep, dark secret to you.
So James would not intentionally intimidate these people, but he is also, like clearly, of the jockish persuasion compared to a lot of these people. But I am also totally fine just rolling streetwise as well, instead of, something I have some skill at. Because I imagine with that roll, Clara has gotten all we need to know.
I mean, so I'm kind of rolling with the it's going to give you like a fact about somebody with a success,
Okay.
and the bigger it is, the crazier and less likely it is they would ever tell you this.
Okay. I mean, I'll still just stick with streetwise because again, James isn't going to intentionally intimidate these people.
Got it.
That's still a 4.
A 4.
That's the best I can do with streetwise.
There is yeah, there's a farmer, say Farmer Daniels. And
Jedediah Daniels.
Yeah, Jedediah Daniels. All right. Now I gotta flip and write Jedediah. All right.
My apologies.
Dia, I don't know, question mark. Daniels. I
tried to write Saran wrap. I tried to type it and I was like, have I ever actually written this word in my life? It's 2 words, by the way, but
yeah, I definitely have not ever had to write Saran. But anyways, yeah, so Jedediah Daniels, a 4 on something about him. I'm going to say they both kind of relate to kind of what they're doing here and whatnot. That's kind of the easier thing to know. And I think Jedediah Daniels is going to be a really basic kind of thing. Maybe he wouldn't openly talk about it to a lot of people all the time. He was abducted by aliens. As a child.
Okay. Good to know, though. And I'm also now thinking, like, we could have just come in here and said, the odds were better than 50-50 that we point at a random member and say, you were abducted by aliens at one point, and it would have been, how'd you know?
Yeah.
But this is good to get, it from the horse's mouth, as it were.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know if there's anything else we can get from this, Alex. No.
Yeah, I think that's it. I've been watching a lot of Gravity Falls lately, and I just keep imagining McLuckin as Jedediah here.
I wish I could do the voice.
All right, but yes, both James and Alex can't think of anything else to really get out of this situation at the moment.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we'll wait until the meeting is over, because this isn't an awkward situation. I'm sure these people are lovely. And as we're leaving, she'll kind of go up to Chris and I feel like they've formed a little bit of a bond here because of the deep dark secret that he shared with her. So like they probably had a conversation about something specific, and so she'll like go over and shake his hand and say, well, thank you so much for telling me about this, and I think we'll be back next week. We'll make sure to bring something. I feel really bad that we didn't bring something before.
Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah. As you can see, we bought plenty. So.
Well, I guess I'll see you next week then.
Yeah, absolutely. See you next week. And he reaches for like his backpack or whatever the heck is appropriate for him to be carrying school materials in.
Yeah.
As a college-aged kid, and grabs a piece of paper and writes down. And he goes, "And this is the book we'll be kind of discussing next week." It doesn't have as much to do with kind of what you are interested in. It has to do more with like ancient civilizations and their connection to possible alien sightings and things like that. But
Well, I think that's interesting as well. So that'd be great. Would it be okay? He didn't give Clara his number last time. He gave her a card for the society, right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Would it be all right if I have any questions, could I call you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he sort of like takes the paper back and writes his number down on it.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "You'll get either, me or my roommate."
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. All right. See you next week.
Bye. Like walking out.
I think
This was lovely.
I think as you walk away from Chris, both James and Sarah are just like looking at you. Well, I don't want to speak for Sarah, but are looking at you with kind of shit-eating grins and like much waggling of the eyebrows.
What?
You got his number.
Got his number?
He's a student. Ew. Like, you guys, seriously, we're in a life or death situation here. I feel like that's the furthest thing from my mind.
Hey,
But thanks.
if not now, when? Right?
Why do you keep saying that? It's fine. I don't need any romantic interests in my life, okay? I'm perfectly happy with my books and my telescope and the stars and the stories.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Let's go home, please.
Okay. And I think I'm going to spend one of my bennies
Oh boy.
to advance the horror here, as
Oh,
we've gone too
God.
long without advancing the horror.
No. We've had a few quiet sessions, and I'm like, all right, when's it gonna happen?
Yeah, it's harder to do now since
switching systems, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So as you're kind of gathering your stuff, you've kind of squarely left the room, and as you're leaving, you see who happens to be here, none other than Matt Jr., who's apparently been exercising, as he is leaving with a gym bag.
Oh boy.
And he kind of clocks the three of you and walks over. He goes, "Oh, hey."
Hi, Matt Jr. Been working.
What are you? Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming you all haven't. You're not really dressed for it.
Nope.
What are y'all doing here?
Going to quickly look around and see if there are signs for any other kind of meeting happening here tonight, or if we are just
Going to
completely
AA.
boned. But are there any signs for that around? Or, I mean, if nothing else, then yeah, that is the line we'll go with. But trying to see if
It
there's.
could be a book club, and that was just my first thought.
I mean, I guess so. This kind of the question for this is like, was the aliens book club very heavily advertised throughout the YMCA, like this way to the UFO sightings club?
I don't think so. But only 7 people show up.
Mm-hmm.
He gave you a card and it had the room number on it. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's a standing appointment at this time slot.
Yeah.
With a, so I'm going to say, instead of like looking around for anything,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just have it be roll me a there's not like a lying skill, is it? It's just persuasion. So roll me a persuasion. And if it passes, there you have a believable thing that you can use.
Sure.
We can speak it into existence.
Yeah. LB, what is Clara's persuasion again? Because mine is unskilled.
Yeah, mine is also unskilled. We're not the talky types.
Okay. Well, let's give this a shot. I'll go ahead and put the onus on James here.
Give it old college try.
That's a 1. At least it wasn't 0 or negative, which it could have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a snake eyes or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you kind of look for something to say, say that you could believably be doing, and you got nothing. And so what's the go-to lie that is it AA? Do you say coming back from an AA meeting?
I mean, we could go with the pregnancy thing and do like pregnancy classes for that makes no sense for this time of night. But
yep, or
that's
for
the other line we
how
have going
far
already.
along you appear to be. But what if one of us says AA and the other one does pregnancy classes at the same time?
Okay, I like that best. It's clear you're lying.
Yeah. Well, it has been great running into you, Matt. And
yeah.
Sorry we didn't get more of a chance to talk at the barbecue earlier, but it is getting a bit late, and oh gosh, we are just so old, so we should be getting home and resting.
Yeah. It's good to see you. I hope you had a good workout.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. He looks at his watch. It's like 9:30.
Getting old.
Oh man, I do not look forward to that, I guess.
Yeah.
You trust me, you don't, and that is the one true thing we've said to him.
We'll see you next week.
Okay. Or why will you see me next week?
I don't know.
We'll see you before then, I'm sure.
No, it's Saturday night. I don't know. Claire's panicking.
Yeah. So you say bye and you're both leaving the building. And so
oh no.
Then
just kind of walking.
Why have you done this? I can't believe you've done this.
He was leaving the building also.
Oh, I know.
So he just kind of walks. He lets you get in front of him. He just kind of walks like 10 feet behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
With awkward silence.
Yeah.
Just hanging in the air.
Get back in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. You all get in the car, and as you begin to drive off, you see Matt Jr. is just standing outside at the front of the building, kind of leaning up against the front wall. You do know that they got 2 cars, but it doesn't look like Matt Jr. drove here.
Okay. Well, that was awkward.
And both of you give me a notice check as you drive off.
Okay, that is something I'm at least skilled in.
Got 4.
Well, that's good because I got a 2.
Okay.
I'm driving, so you know.
Yeah, you're driving. You kind of look over. You see Matt Jr. kind of hanging there, and you kind of drive past. And what did you say, that was awkward or something like that? You say that, and you look in the rear view, and you see Matt Jr. Is kind of stopped and is talking to Jedediah Daniels.
Oh no. Oh.
Well,
Buttons.
if he's like McLucket from Gravity Falls, I think we're good. But
I think that Matt Jr.'s talking to Jedediah. He might find out that we were at the. But what does it matter that we were at that thing? Maybe we're just really interested in UFOs. Maybe they're gonna come to our house tonight. They're gonna kill us. I don't know what's going.
we will lock the doors. We can have a slumber party if need be, but I don't know, we're in uncharted territory at this point.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Sarah kind of goes, I did bring my gun.
Yeah, I have my gun too. But, sorry, it's been a lot, and nothing scary's happened recently, so I assume that it's going to. Okay. Let's just get home, and maybe tomorrow I can call Sunday. The library's not gonna be open. Maybe we can just take a day and relax.
Sure.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
I'm gonna need tea when I get home. Anyone want some tea?
I think if there's alcohol, I'll be drinking some alcohol, please. Not a lot, because like I said, we might need guns.
That's a good idea too, actually. Yeah, okay. Let's relax tonight and tomorrow and hit it first thing on Monday, okay?
All right. Yeah, if you get back, have your tea, have your alcoholic beverage of choice that is at your house. Sarah unpacks her gun, and
did we ever ask Sarah where she lived?
Huh. You guys don't know anything about Sarah because you don't want to ask anything.
Okay, that's what I thought, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that Clara drinks a little more than she intended to. It's one of those where she was fine and then she stood up and realized that she wasn't as fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna. Oh, sorry, you got a little dizzy there. I think I'm gonna head up to bed.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, if there's any electrical storms tonight, just wake me up.
Okay.
Gripping and ripping.
And Sarah opens another
Paps. Another beer. She's not going to bed yet.
Right, you kids have fun, but not too much fun.
Don't worry.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, so stay up as late as you want. Sarah is talking to you like she's met you a few times, and there's a couple of times where she's like, "Oh, remember that time we all went out?" And you're just kind of like, as this one of the first times you've had just like a prolonged period where it's like you're not having to talk about specific things that have happened. I don't know how late you all stay up.
I guess I would put it to Sarah of like, so when the freaky light shows happen, it's usually around, what if we said 3, 4 a.m.? Basically asking if she wants to try and stay up for one of those, or
I think it's like, isn't it like 2 in the morning, and then there's the time you.
okay, yeah, I've got June 9th, Monday around 3:30 in the morning. There's loud humming and flashing lights. I'm trying to see if it
Okay, yeah.
mentions that in other times.
Okay, that might be the other group.
But that also
So
might
yeah,
have been. I don't think that was because that was only session 2, so that would have been before I sabotaged, and because there was one time where I sabotaged, thought we were in the clear, and then it happened later.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was like 2, and then you sabotaged and it was 4, but it could have been like 3, and you sabotaged and it was 4. Anyways, 3 or 4 in the morning when it happens. She's cool with staying up. She's actually thinking if you're not too bad, pretty quick in the night probably. She says, you know, she'll stay up for a bit. If you want to catch some sleep, she'll wake you up later, and maybe y'all can kind of keep a little bit of a watch if you're that worried about things.
Yeah. There's not really like an insight check though, is there? Because I guess this is just gonna have to be a character choice of like, because there is still the potential in the back of our minds that Sarah could be a plant from the Millers somehow.
I would allow. I mean, so the skills are kind of meant to be a little broad and whatnot. If you think one of these skills would let you look into that, kind of, I'd let notice, streetwise. Probably would be the 2 ones I would go to off the top of my head to try and get a read on someone was being genuine with you.
Yeah, I can try and notice. It's a 3, so I don't expect to get much.
Yeah, so it's a failure. You can't read it. Can't read her. You don't know her that well. It doesn't seem one way or the other. It's not. You believe her. You just don't know.
Yeah.
What to think.
I think probably because there has been alcohol at this point, James is going to opt for getting some sleep.
Okay. Yeah, so she'll stay up for a little while and probably just go to sleep at some point. But yeah. Yeah. So you go to sleep, and you all wake up too at about 3:30 in the morning. A loud electrical humming noise and some flashing lights.
God damn it! Stumbles out of bed.
And yeah, you find Sarah just like standing at a window, looking out at it.
Clara has completely forgotten to put on a robe tonight. She walks downstairs and like stands next to her sister. See?
I mean, it's definitely weird.
Well, if what James saw is true, what they're doing is melting people.
We go stop them? I mean, we each have guns. Just go in there and start shooting.
Did we shoot them last time?
You've shot at them. You've never successfully shot them before.
Yeah, but I think I think it's at this point that like James probably comes in also not nearly appropriately dressed. So, well, one time we went over, and then they saw us, and then they killed us.
That's true.
And you shoot any of them?
I mean, I guess that's true. But do we want to do a reset now? I mean, she kind of like glances over at Sarah. We don't know what's gonna happen, especially with Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, you.
I mean, and we don't know if you're gonna come back and remember at all.
Yeah, and I mean, you came because you thought your sister was accused of murder, right? And I don't imagine that's something we want to try repeating every time.
No, that was terrible.
I mean, yeah, true, but I mean, if that happens, I want to help you. I'll make it clear right now. I want to help you. Give me a call. Get me down here, and I'll meet the Millers, and I'll come back, and I'll be able to help you.
Sarah
Down
has
here.
shaken hands with all of them, right?
Yeah, she's met them all. She met Dr. Miller at the house, and I think she met everyone else at a restaurant.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. Yeah, you could come down. Down?
She goes, well,
Canadian?
I'm down. I'll come up here. Sorry.
Up here. Got it. Makes a note. Where are we? Are we in Ohio?
Yes. You're in
Okay.
Columbus. You're a little ways outside of Columbus.
Yeah, that would have narrowed things down if it was down here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more. James?
I think we play it safe. We see how far things progress for now. If we wake up tomorrow and, the whole town is gone because they melted everyone tonight, then yeah, we go. Also, hold on, I messed with the machine. It should have caught fire.
Oh yeah.
Is that something David forgot?
Hold on, GM.
Yep. You're right.
Let's rewind it a little bit there.
Yes. So I will say, instead of this electrical storm or electrical stuff waking you up, you're all woken up by Sarah at about 3:30 in the morning. And she has you come look out this window. And you see that there's some flickering light coming from the basement. You faintly hear some smoke detectors going off. The flickering light is very clearly that of a fire.
Oh my gosh, should we call 911?
They probably have.
But how would they explain a fire in the basement that doesn't exist?
No, the basement for this house exists. It's blueprints for a different house with a secret basement.
No, I know, but you had to go through you had to go through the closet that was...
I mean, so this is maybe a bit meta. My understanding was they just magicked away the basement entrance so no one would wander in when the whole town was over. But it's very obvious the house has a basement.
Yeah.
Because
I guess that's true. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, no, I probably have. Should we not be by the window when they show up so they don't ask about? I'm sorry. I'm very tired. I think I'm still a little drunk, actually. Ugh.
I mean, yeah, you only went to bed like 4 hours ago, and you drank a lot, so.
I don't really drink that much normally, so just, goes to my head sometimes. Okay,
Right.
So just we watch for now, see what happens, or should we go over?
I mean, don't people often just go out on their porch and watch emergencies happen? maybe we wait until the first fire
They
engine
come
shows up.
outside. Yeah. That's a good idea. Either the first fire engine or if they come outside. Like if there's loud noise that would have woken us up. Okay. Very smart. Okay.
All right. So you stay up to watch.
Mhm.
All right. So a fire truck never comes. The fire seems to be sort of under control and out within an hour.
Oh. Okay. If they don't call like if a fire truck doesn't come in like 10 minutes, do we then call 911? Or is that too suspicious? I feel
It
like
looks
that might
like
be too
no one else in the
suspicious.
neighborhood is calling.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they are also all, being
Mind
controlled by
control.
the Millers.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's not like there's any loud noises, just the smoke detectors, so.
If you were asleep, you would sleep through this.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Well, I guess they handled it, but that means that if there was someone down there, if they did have someone on that machine, they didn't liquefy them, but do you think that the fire
It could have destroyed them. It could also, it could make whatever's down there, indistinguishable now. I think all we can do to, you know, keep suspicion off ourselves is wake up in the morning and see how things are.
Yeah. Okay. See how a Sunday goes, huh?
Yep.
All right. Shortly before the sun comes up, it's still dark. Sort of twilight starting to creep into the sky. The electric kind of flashing happens. It's very different this time. The frequency, you've seen it several times now. Kind of the frequency of the flashing is faster, and whatever's going on seems to take much longer. Before where it lasts like maybe a minute or two, you depending on how long you sit there and watch, it goes on for about 15 minutes.
You said just before the sun comes up?
Yes.
Mr. Jones, right, the neighbor, is very elderly.
Yes.
Do I know how early he gets up?
We'll say he probably should already be up.
Okay.
There's probably more than a couple people on the block that are up at this point.
Okay. Not that I've been up that early, but I guess I want to know if it'd be weird to for people to be up with the mind control stuff going on. Would they still be asleep at this point? Do I know that they would be out for the night? I don't know.
It is also a Sunday morning. People could conceivably be sleeping in.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would like to keep an eye out and make sure none of the other neighbors go wandering over to see what's going on, I guess.
I'll say no one wanders over to see what's going on, but give me a notice check.
Okay. Because I don't want anyone else to get killed on the lawn. Oh, it's 7! Woo!
Okay.
Two 6s!
All right. You roll 2 6s, each with a +1.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I forget, is that anything, getting 2 6s?
No.
Or is it just you have to get, like, the +4 above?
Yeah. So yeah, there's no hitting max with both dice. I don't think does. Maybe it does something. I'll have to check. Now that I'm thinking about it, it might. But doesn't really matter because what you notice is that you see a couple of people on the block who seem to have some lights on and are doing some stuff in their house. Like, you see them kind of like through the window eating breakfast, or someone kind of open their door to get their newspaper while this is going on, and they seem to pay it no mind.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess she's just saying out loud if anyone is up with her still. I guess this means that whatever they put in the mind control stuff is just blocking this noise out completely. It doesn't matter if they're asleep or not. That's interesting. I don't know what it means, but it's interesting.
Just makes me extra glad we didn't eat their bloomin' onions.
Please don't talk about that. Sorry, it's just a little.
And yeah, as you kind of stand there watching, the flashing lights stop, and you're kind of talking, about what this must mean, that the mind control stuff, and you watch as the front door of the Millers opens, and out comes walking Matt Jr. as he begins to walk towards your house.
No.
And I think we will end there.
No.
Oh boy.
So, with Savage Worlds,
I'm in danger. We're in danger.
We experience 144.
Right.
We determine experience every session. Two experience points per game session. Three points. Okay. So yeah, all right. You so you pretty much get 2 experience every session, and if like something really important happens or we wrap something really big up, you get 3. I'm gonna say today was a pretty standard session. You got some good clues, but nothing just outrageous happened. So 2 experience for you all, please. And so you should have experience on your character sheets, because it never goes away.
Okay.
So just increase that number by 2.
Yep, so that puts me at 17, I assume. Yeah, and
Yeah, same.
we can discuss it another time. I guess I'm just wondering how advancements work.
So, like the different points, I think 5 points usually gets you an advancement of some kind.
Okay.
And there's different things you can get with it. So you guys should have been at 15. You each started with 3 advancements. So when you hit 20, you can get another advancement.
Okay. All right.
And you're currently in like the novice category. So a lot of your edges and stuff have you be in different categories. And so as you hit certain experience thresholds, it bumps you up. I can't remember when seasoned is. It might be 20. You might be closing in on it.
Okay.
And then it increases the things you're available to, edges you're available to take. And otherwise it's just increased dice basically.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So That's it on my end.
All right. Well, thank you, David, for running us through that game. It's been a minute and
Yes.
we're back, and things are terrible again, as they should be in this game. Thank you everyone in chat for hanging out with us tonight. If you are watching this in the future, thank you as well. You know, comment on our YouTube videos, come join our Discord, and follow us on Twitter and all that good stuff. We also have some merch available. None of us are sporting any, but we've got shirts, mugs, phone cases, a bunch of stuff with lots of the, you know, weird and silly stuff we say on this channel. You can find a link to that, again, Twitter, on our Twitch page, etc. The next time this channel is scheduled to be live is Thursday for Elegant Magics, where we are finishing up the time loop that's happening there. And yeah, other than that, you know, check again our socials for our schedule. I think that's it for us for tonight. Either of you got things you wanna, you know, tell the internet before we sign off?
Not right now. No.
All right.
Check our Twitters.
Yeah, Twitter and our Discord are the best place to know what we are doing. But until next time, good games and good night, internet.